Look, look, look. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I'm gonna fucking throw up in my own mouth. Please do not let one of them jump in front of you. Get away from me. What in the actual fuck? How the fuck did they get all the way over here?
I don't think it's the same thing. Is it?
Oh my god. I think it is.
Really?
Yeah. Who the fuck else would do that?
I mean, I don't know. Street theater? People that do stuff just to fuck with you. In the streets. A group of the same people dressed the same. In a different part of the city. Just to make you say, huh? Yeah. Stupid shit like that. It's true, it's real. I don't know, I think they probably were the same people, but it's like...
They fucking ran super fast.
Yeah. Or got in a car and drove over here.
Yeah.
There's some ugly bitches in this city.
Yeah, it really is.
These people are for real gonna make me kill myself.
Don't
Yeah.
fucking say that.
I would rather do it myself than let them do it. Because I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Do not
I'd rather
do
go
that.
out on my terms. I think I've got an investment to make real soon.
What did you say?
I think I have an investment to make really soon.
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're always so up your ass, you'll be mad all the time.
I might if I'm not driving. I'll turn around.
What do you want?
I'm gonna turn around so you don't have to cross the street.
Oh, okay.
Are you cool with going up there?
Yeah. I'm just getting money, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't let her take you in and talk and shit.
How much do you am I getting? Let's go.